Goodreads says these are the worst books on my physical TBR, and now I have to read them. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Callie. Today I decided we're gonna let Goodreads pick the next couple of books that I'm gonna read. I'm really trying to get through my physical TBR because it is like at an all-time high. I'm talking over 400 books that I have not yet read. Do I keep buying books? Yes, because I obviously have a problem. But I would also like to start prioritizing the physical TBR and books that have been on my shelf for quite some time. I have recently updated my Goodreads and added every single book that I physically own onto my want to read list. I haven't added any of the sequels to those books, just book number 1 or the current book I'm on in that series, so that it would have the most accurate representation of what I still need to read. We all know Goodreads can be extremely harsh. Sometimes it's accurate and other times it's not deserved whatsoever. So are these books actually bad? I went ahead and used the filter to look at the average rating across all of the books on my physical TBR. And then I hit reverse so I could see the bottom of the barrel. And I was a little shocked at which books had the worst ratings. Let me go grab them. The lowest rated book on my TBR is The Baby Dragon Cafe. I don't really know too much about this. I just know I love cozy fantasies and I love dragons. So how could you go wrong? I don't know, maybe. It says, welcome to the cutest and most complicated cafe in town. When Saphira opens her cafe for customers with pet baby dragons, she isn't expecting it to be quite so hard to keep the fires burning. But her young dragon patrons keep incinerating the furniture, which means selling coffee isn't covering her cost. Local heartthrob Aiden is a gardener, though his disobedient baby dragon is a major distraction from his beloved plants. However, Saphira's cafe gives him an idea. He'll ask Saphira to train his dragon and pay her enough to keep the cafe afloat. They know they're the answer to each other's problems, but happy-go-lucky Saphira and gorgeous but grumpy Aiden couldn't be more different. Can they find a way to work together and maybe even ignite some fire of their own? So I guess maybe this is a little bit different than I thought it was going to be, because once again, I didn't read the back of the book before I bought it. But that's okay. That is the lowest rated book on Goodreads for my physical TBR, and we're going to give it a chance and see if the reviewers are correct or if I think this is a hidden gem. The second lowest rated book on Goodreads is Mated to the Monster by Spade. And I think this is book 1 of the Sombra Demons. This is one of the special edition versions of the book and another impulse buy. I really should have known better than to play around with that old book of spells. How was I supposed to know that the incantation scrawled inside of it worked? That the first one I read would open a portal into a demon plane, or that the next one was an unbreakable vow to the 7-foot-tall shadow monster I unwittingly summoned into my bedroom. He says his name is Malphus, that he's something called a Sombra demon, and I'm his mate. Monster, demon, whatever he is, his muscles are bigger than my head. And that club between his legs, I don't know if mate means the same thing to him as it does me, but he's got to be kidding. Spoiler alert, he's not. Mal has been waiting for more than 1,000 years for the one woman meant for him. He's convinced that's me, and he's willing to do anything to prove it. And maybe there's something really wrong with me, because before long, I find myself eager to let him try. So, moral of the story here is I need to start reading the backs of my books before I buy them. We know this is going to be spicy. We know it is a monster romance. I am not opposed to a good old monster romance. I just usually have to be in the mood for them. Will I be in the mood to pick this up? I don't know, but either way, we're going to give it a try. It doesn't look too long, so we'll see. And the third worst rated book on my physical TBR, it's Lore of the Wilds by Analeigh Sbrana. I didn't expect this to be one of my lowest rated physical books because I've heard such great things about it, but I am excited to read it. A library with deadly enchantment, a fey lord who wants in, a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. In a land ruled by ruthless fey, Lore's village is trapped in a forested prison. Lore knows that any escape attempt is futile. Her scars are a testament to her past failures. But when her village is threatened, Lore makes a desperate deal with a Fae Lord. She will leave her home to catalog an enchanted library that hasn't been touched in 1,000 years. No Fae may enter the library, but there's a chance a human might be able to breach the cursed doors. She convinces him that she will risk her life for wealth, but really she's after the one thing the Fae covet above all, magic of her own. As Lore navigates the hostile world outside, she's forced to rely on 2 Fae males to survive. 2 very different, very dangerous, very attractive Fae males. When undeniable chemistry ignites, she's not just in danger of losing her life, but also her heart to the very creatures she can never trust. I want to say this is going to be better than Goodreads is stating, but I guess we're about to see. I guess that leaves us with one question. Are these books really bad, or are all the people rating them really salty? Only time will tell. We are going to test it out and read the lowest rated books on our physical TBR, according to Goodreads. And by lowest rated, I just want to put a little disclaimer in there. They are all over 3 stars, below 4. I do not have anything lower rated on my physical TBR. So this is just, I'm assuming they're still good. Just not great, but we'll see. Please tell me why I'm enjoying this book. I have a feeling it's going to be smut. And I don't know, maybe because on page 3, we have already summoned a demon. I don't know if it's page 3. It's like the very, very first couple of pages. But we've already summoned a demon, and we're already talking about his club size appendage hanging out. So I assume it's going to be smutty. I'm only on page 47. Is it anything like special? No, but am I having a good time? Yes. Our FMC, I can't even remember her name right now. Our FMC got this spell book from a friend at a bookstore, and she decides to do the true love spell. It's a Saturday. She's bored. Why not, right? So she does this spell to bring her a true love, and out of, I don't know, some portal pops out this Sombra demon. And it's this big reddish dude with a huge purple, apparently happy appendage. And he's in this summoning circle, and she's flipping out. She's like, what the fuck did I just do? She runs away. She tries to go back to the bookstore to talk to her friend. A friend is gone on vacation, of course. And she comes back, and he's still standing there in her room. So she continues the spell, hoping it will send him back. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. But it did allow him to now be able to speak English. That's kind of where we're at. Again, do I think this is going to be an amazing read? No, I'm probably pretty sure Goodreads got it right. It does have, like, I don't know, is this typical monster romance vibes? But at the end of the day, does it matter? No, I'm having a good time, so I'm gonna keep reading this, and I'll let you know what I think in a little bit. Maybe it'll get better, maybe it'll stay the same. As long as I have a good time, that's all that matters, right? finished Mated to the Monster last night. Guys, people are freaking nuts. This was super cute, by the way. I went on Goodreads to see if my rating matched up. Let me just say I ended up giving this 4 stars, and I'll tell you why. Goodreads had an average rating of 3.36, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. I looked through the comments to see why it was the average of a 3.3 star rating. The reason people are rating this book so low is because how dare there be a monster romance that's not filled with smut? I am happily going to tell you I was wrong, and this is not smut. Even though they did mention the size of his bits, whatever you want to call them, appendages, his appendage, I don't know, his club, I'm just going to call it his club. Even though they mentioned the size of his club pretty often throughout this, there wasn't any actual smut in it. And that's why I loved it. It actually focused more on the romance and them getting to know each other and him being so respectful of his human mate and not pressuring her into anything and letting her decide for herself if this is what she wanted. I loved it. It was the perfect palate cleanser, and I wasn't in the mood for a crazy spicy book, and that's not what it was. So I actually judged this wrongly, and I'm so happy I was wrong and ended up pushing through and reading this book. I do, however, think it's absolutely nuts that people will tank reviews simply because there's no smut in a book. If all you want is smut, just look up a book that's known for smut. Not every monster romance has to be. I don't know. I guess just my opinion, but it just sucks. I hate seeing a book that was actually pretty good tanked solely for that reason. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on that one. The next book I'm going to read is The Baby Dragon Cafe. I don't know how I'm feeling about this one. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going into it with too many expectations. I'm honestly just expecting, I'm assuming a cozy fantasy, but there is a romance in it. So I don't know. Hopefully it will just be a quick, fun, easy read. If I had to guess, I would say just based on what I've read on the back, based on the cover, and I guess based on the Goodreads review, I would say it's probably a 3.5 star read. I have not read any of the reviews. I've just seen what the average is. But based on what they say is going on in the back of the book, I don't see it being super compelling, but I'm really interested to see if I will be proved wrong on this one, because you know what? I judged Mated by the Monster, and I was completely wrong about that one. So I am going to read this book, and I'll let you know what I think. Also, I changed some things around in my house. Look how stinking cute. I made myself a little coffee bar, and I'm completely obsessed, especially because it's now fall, and all I plan to do is drink tons of cute and comfy coffees. Guys, I fear I am just not having a good time with the Baby Dragon Cafe. I'm only 100 pages in. Normally, apparently cozy fantasy, not every book is for me, and I thought that it would be impossible for me to find a cozy fantasy book that I wouldn't like, because I eat these things up normally. I don't know. I don't think I vibe with the way it's written. I don't like how I'm being told things instead of experiencing them. When our two love interest, I guess you could say, meet each other. It's I don't mind insta attraction or insta lovey, but it's just weird. I don't know. It just icks me out, honestly. A lot of things about this book are just icky to me, and I'm not having a good time. So I am going to DNF the book, and I'm not going to rate it, because I think I need to at least read half the book to be able to genuinely give a rating for it. Only 100 pages in, there's no reason for me to tank someone's ratings just because it's not for me and I don't want to finish it. So that's at least how I feel about that. So I'm not going to rate it, but if I were to rate it, it would be a 1.5 stars. And it is so rare if I give anything less than a 3, let alone a 2. I'm a little frustrated with this one, but we're not going to waste any more time on books we don't like. So I am actually going to just jump straight into Lore of the Wild and see how I feel about this. I have only seen good things about it, but apparently there is another side to Book Talk that doesn't like this book. So I'm very curious which side I will fall on. I'm just going to jump in and see how I feel. Guys, I'm about 50% through, almost 50% through Lore of the Wilds. The beginning was super slow. And for a second there, I thought I wasn't going to get into this book. But then it just started picking up. We're following Lore, and she's human. She lives in this small, very poor town. Everyone there is struggling to survive, and nobody can leave it because the Fae are guarding the forest around the outside of it. And if anyone tries to leave, they are either severely injured or killed. And it is very rare to see any of the Fae unless you're trying to leave and put in a bad situation. So one day, Laura's working at, I think it's like an alchemy shop, and 2 Fae walk in, and they're looking for the owner of the shop, who is her aunt and uncle. When the Fae find out that she can read their language as well as the human language, they kind of disappear. And then things kind of just get going right after that, where she is offered a deal to go to this mysterious library that no Fae can enter, but a human just might be able to. And these Fae are mean. Like, they're not your usual type of Fae. They're mean. They treat humans like the scum of the earth. Well, most of them. 99% of them. So that's kind of where I'm at. We went to this library. There's other pretty big things going on that I can't really talk about or it'll spoil it for you. But I'm very curious to see where this book is going to go because it has me hooked at this moment. And I'm having a really fun time with it. I haven't put it down all day. I think I might finish this tonight. Guys, I'm going to be so real with you right now. I hope the sound of my voice isn't horrid because I am, in fact, hiding out in my bathroom. My little one is going nuts out there, and there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to record anything. So I finished Lore of the Wild today. Another book, in my opinion, that Goodreads is extremely generous on. I know my last update, it was like semi-hopeful, and I was thinking I was going to get into it. And the second I picked that book back up, we just crashed and burned. I literally loved the idea. I loved the concept of this book. The execution just failed so badly, and I'm so upset because that would have been a fantastic book if it was done well. The main plots of the book were very interesting. Why the humans are living where they are, the issues going on with the Fae, the different Fae courts. There's a light and a dark Fae, and the Fae aren't your typical types of Fae that you read anymore. Like, they're mean. They're mean and they're horrid for the most part. As well as like the magic. The magic that can be used is pretty different and it's cool. And there's a lot more to be explored there because I still don't fully understand the magic. Like, it's not, magic isn't infinite. It can be used up. So I don't really understand how much of it is in the world, how many people are able to use it, who can use it exactly. So like there's a lot of questions that still haven't been answered in book 1 or like really even delved into. And every time we got to some like really interesting part, it was rushed. It was like, finally, we're going to get some type of depth here. No, we just like kind of skimmed and pushed through a part that could have really been explored and fun. Also, the love interest. I hate them. Okay, I don't hate them. I can't stand them. Hate's a very strong word. There was no tension, no banter, nothing. And then like, there was no buildup. And then when there was like some type of interaction that was more, I don't even want to call it romantic because it wasn't romantic. It was like 0 to 100. All of a sudden, I'm ready to bang you. Like, cool. But like, where was the connection? Why didn't we explore that? Why didn't we show a buildup? This was also an adult romantasy, right? There's like, I don't even know if you could really call it a spicy scene. I'm going to be completely honest. I skimmed it because the spicy scene just didn't make sense for me in this book. It didn't fit in this book. And from what I did read of it, it wasn't that great. So I didn't fully read that whole spicy scene. Overall, this book reads very, very juvenile. The maturity level is like at an all-time low for these characters. And then for them to have like this adult moment, I don't think this is an adult book whatsoever. And this is coming from somebody though that loves YA books, because I absolutely love YA books. I don't think there needs to be spice for a book to be good. I think if a book is good, it doesn't matter whether it's YA or adult, it's still gonna be freaking good. Anyways, that's just my opinion. So overall, I would say that Goodreads was pretty fair in its ratings on 2 out of the 3 books. And what is the moral of this story for me here? Stop buying books for the cover, because these covers were absolutely gorgeous. Lore of the Wilds cover is the most gorgeous cover. And then to follow it up with a book that's like so incomplete just really sucks. But there is obviously people who disagree with that opinion and they loved the book. So I'm going to unhaul it and hopefully somebody will get it that will really love it and enjoy it, because that's the beauty of reading, right? But I did find one gem and I really, really, really loved Mated to the Monster. I think it was by Spade. That was so much fun and it was so cute and there was no spice. I loved that. So I am glad I did this because I did get 3 books off my physical TBR. One I absolutely loved. One was a DNF and one I finished but didn't like. So 2 of those books will be unhauled and off my shelf, and now I have room to put all the other books that need a space on my shelf. At least 2 of them. So I think I'm going to continue doing this and go from the bottom up in this particular series because I like seeing if I have some gems and I like getting through my TBR. And from now on, I think I will, when I do purchase books, I will look at them very, very differently and stop buying books that are just overly hyped on the internet. Lesson learned. So if you made it all the way through, let me know your thoughts. Have you read any of these books and what did you think? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you are new and would love to follow along, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I hope y'all have an amazing day and I will see you in the next one.